Welcome. My name is Matt, and this is how to build a seven-figure newsletter business from scratch. We're going to talk about the step-by-step roadmap to start, grow, and monetize your newsletter in 4 hours per week, all without spending dozens of hours creating content or setting up complicated software. If you have questions about this is my personal phone number, my primary email address. I love talking with you about how to help grow your newsletter, so you can reach out to me there. Who is this for? My goal of this presentation is to help two types of people. The first are beginners. You're going to get the system to build a profitable newsletter business from scratch that allows you to earn an income online, work from anywhere on your schedule without a boss or clients. This is also going to help more experienced people. You're going to learn how to grow faster and make more money from your email list using cutting-edge tactics that are working right now for some of the fastest growing media companies and creators. If that sounds interesting, this is for you. In the next 90 minutes or less, I'll show you why newsletters are the key to owning your audience and building an independent, sustainable, and profitable online business. I'm going to show you my system that will make it simple for you to do this. We're going to be covering a lot of information today. Here's what we'll learn. How to pick a lucrative newsletter niche. How to create a newsletter offer so good it would be stupid not to sign up. How to create a newsletter template and write high-quality content in less than 2 hours per week with AI. How to turn one weekly newsletter into over 500 posts per year that bring in tens of thousands of subscribers. How to get subscribers on autopilot with a set and forget growth method, the number one way to scale your email list to over 100,000 or over 1 million subscribers profitably. How to make $1 to $3 every time someone signs up for your newsletter. How to get sponsorship revenue for your newsletter, even if you have a small email list. And how to make money in your sleep with email automation. At the end, I'm going to show you how you can work with me to grow your business, but 95% of this is educational. You will get an ROI on your time. Couple questions as we get into this. How many email users do you think are worldwide? Is it 500 million, 1.2 billion, 3.4 billion, or 4.2 billion? You might be surprised to learn the answer is actually 4.2 billion email users worldwide. And that number is projected to reach 4.7 billion by 2026. That means over half of the Earth's population actually uses email, which is crazy. In the United States, 92% of the digital population used email. And email is definitely not dead. It's not going away anytime soon. Which email newsletter business sold for $525 million in 2022? Most people I ask this to get it wrong. Is it Morning Brew, The Hustle, Industry Dive, or Axios? The answer is actually C and D. It's a trick question. Industry Dive and Axios were both acquired separately for $525 million in 2022. It's one of the biggest outcomes in the media world. What are the startup costs for an email newsletter business? These are going to get a little bit easier. Is it $0, $5,000, $10,000, or $100,000? The answer is actually A, zero. It costs $0 to start a newsletter. You just need a laptop and internet connection and a free plan of any email service provider. Two more questions. What platform actually allows you to own your audience and does not put an algorithm between you and the people who want to receive your message? Is it YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or X, or is it email? You guessed, it's email. Email is the only platform where you actually own your audience. There is no algorithm or gatekeepers filtering your content from your audience. You own your email list. So if you have 100,000 subscribers, that is a direct line of communication to people's inboxes at the moment you send an email instead of being at the mercy of algorithms. Email is built on the SMTP protocol. It's a free, open, and decentralized protocol that cannot be taken away. As long as those subscribers agree to receive emails from you, you own an audience and no one can take away your email list. Last question. Does it make sense to start an email newsletter so you can own your audience and build a perpetual income stream online? Well, I'm going to show you today why the answer is yes. Email newsletters are the best way to own your audience, build influence, and grow your business. An engaged email newsletter enables you to become a list lord and to stop renting your audience. A list lord is a digital landlord. This is a business owner who owns their audience, is completely independent, always profitable, and in control of their future. Most business owners are not this. If you're building an audience on YouTube, Google, Instagram, TikTok, etc., any platform, you are building on rented land. This is like renting a house where the rent goes up every single month. There's always an algorithm filtering your content from your audience. And even if you have an audience of 1 million followers, your posts might only be seen by just 5,000 of them. This doesn't just happen with social media. Google's search algorithms can suddenly change. Your traffic can disappear overnight. one algorithm update can kill your reach on Google, and it's happened to thousands of businesses dozens of times. What's worse is that Zuck, Elon, or even a low-level employee at one of these apps can pull the plug on your account anytime. You can get banned or shadow banned even if you did nothing wrong. Tens of thousands of accounts are banned every single day just by accident. And even if a ban or an algorithm change hasn't happened to you yet, you have to stay on the content treadmill, posting 1 to 3 times per day for months and years just to reach the audience that you've built on these platforms. I think it's impossible to constantly create content for an audience that you don't even own and build a business simultaneously. My point is, relying on an algorithm to reach your audience and get new customers makes it impossible to build an independent, sustainable, and profitable business where you can control your destiny. That's why owning your audience with an email newsletter is a profound advantage in life. It's the only way to become a list lord, and that's exactly what I'll show you how to do today. For example, this is one of my clients, Guy Short. He started the Flyover newsletter, and he said, much of our early success can be attributed to what I learned from Matt. We started from scratch and quickly built our publication to almost 1 million readers profitably in 17 months. This was a couple months ago. At this point, Guy is over 1 million readers, and they grew from 0 to 7 figures profitably in just 17 months. Guy sent me this message on Slack a couple months ago. He said the Flyover went over 1 million in sales last week. This was in 2024. And will finish the year 2024 at over 2 million in sales. That's pretty impressive. Now, before I show you how to do this, I want to introduce myself, tell you who I am. As I mentioned before, my name is Matt. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called GrowLetter. We're a marketing agency that works with media companies, creators, and newsletters like The Hustle, Charter, many more. I got my start in the newsletter world at The Hustle, working for a guy named Sam Parr, who is the founder of The Hustle, the co-host of the My First Million podcast. We grew to over 2.5 million subscribers, and we were acquired by HubSpot for $27 million. After we were acquired, I had a little bit more time to work with other types of companies, and so I started working with 1440. 1440 is a newsletter, and it's now surpassed over 4 million subscribers, and they are doing more than $20 million in revenue with a team of just 19 people. Tim, the founder of 1440, said this about me. I'll paraphrase it here, but he said, Matt has helped us level up 1440 to over 4 million subscribers. Whether you're just starting out or seeking tactics to optimize your newsletter strategy, partnering with Matt is a no-brainer. The next client I worked with is Sean Purry. He's the creator of the Milk Road newsletter. I reached out to Sean back in January of 2022, started working with him on Growth the Milk Road, and we grew that from 10,000 subscribers when I started to over 250,000 subscribers in just 10 months. And we were actually acquired for millions of dollars in just a 10-month period, which was incredible. I've been fortunate to be involved in 4 different newsletters that have been acquired successfully: The Hustle to HubSpot, Milk Road to Bitfo, Charter, and most recently, Mindstream. I also created the #1 newsletter and podcast about newsletters. My newsletter has over 37,000 subscribers. I've used this to build a 7-figure annual recurring revenue business in 2 years. And Austin Reef, the CEO of Morning Brew, said my newsletter is by far the best resource about all things newsletters. He knows what he's talking about because Morning Brew was sold for $75 million, and it's done over $250 million in lifetime revenue just from a simple newsletter. I've also spoken at the largest events about newsletters and digital marketing, Traffic and Conversion Summit, the Newsletter Conference, and I'm hosting my own conference called Newsletter Marketing Summit in February 2025 with speakers like Sam Parr, James Altucher, Alex Lieberman, and many, many more awesome folks. In the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to build a massive business from my newsletter, or massive in relative terms to what I think is good. But it wasn't always this way. In fact, a few years ago, I was like some of you watching this. I grew up in the poorest county in the United States. That's Clay County, West Virginia. That's what it was at the time. It's not much better now. I was also a dyslexic and ADHD kid who went to 7 different schools growing up, and I started my career as a college dropout with no experience, no money, and no connections, living in a town that was not a media, tech, or startup hub. But I discovered something in 2017 that changed my life forever. I discovered newsletter businesses and creators like The Hustle, Morning Brew, The Skim, Ben Settle, James Clear, and James Altucher. They have a really simple yet elegant business model. They write and they send an email every day or even just once a week. They grow, they get people to join that email list, and then they sell. They monetize that list with ads or with information products that have a near 100% profit margin. I thought I could replicate this, so I started my first newsletter back in 2018. But back then, there was almost no information about how to build a newsletter and almost no software that made it easy. I made every mistake in the book, and I shut it down a few months later. But I kept researching and obsessing about newsletters, and everything changed when I got a job in 2020 at the Hustle to Lead newsletter growth. We grew to over 2.5 million subscribers. We were acquired. And most importantly, I got to see behind the scenes of how newsletters were actually built. And it was entirely different than what I thought looking from the outside. After I left the Hustle after the acquisition, I worked with clients like the Milk Road, 1440, creators like Cody Sanchez, Sahil Bloom, James Clear, Dan Martell, and many more. And I started my next newsletter in 2023, and I was able to use that to make more money than I ever thought was possible. These experiences led me to create a system that I call Write, Grow, Sell. It's the simple system to start, grow, and monetize any newsletter, and it's going to help you identify lucrative niches and create addicting newsletter content, grow your newsletter faster with the right subscribers on autopilot, and increase your newsletter engagement, your open rate, your click-through rate, retention, deliverability, so you get more from each subscriber on your list, and convert those subscribers into profit with sponsorships, information products, or any product or service that you already have. I've used this system to generate over 10 million newsletter subscribers and over $100 million in lifetime revenue for clients. For example, we helped James Clear generate over 300,000 subscribers in 4 months, Sahil Bloom go from 175,000 subscribers to over 600,000 subscribers in 1 year, Cody Sanchez go from 120,000 subscribers to over 500,000 subscribers, and many, many more. We helped Robinhood generate over 200,000 subscribers, and after 14 months of working with us, they were acquired by Robinhood. Tons of amazing case studies and examples, like the flyover, as I mentioned before. We've worked with over 100 different clients in various industries, niches, and they have different business models as well, from B2B media, local media, lifestyle, sports, authors, nonprofits, religion, spirituality, investing and finance, information products, and more. We've been able to have success with many different types of newsletters, creators, media, and education businesses. So how does Write, Grow, Sell work? It all comes down to the audience funnel that you see here. It's about moving your audience from a rented audience to an owned audience, and then finally converting them into a monetized audience. A rented audience just means the audience that you have or that you build on social media, on search platforms like Google, and on video platforms like YouTube and TikTok. Rented platforms are good in many ways, but they have some big downsides. So they're good because they help you get discovered. People are able to share your content and discover you, but you don't own the audience and you don't control the audience that you build there. That is owned by Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. So over the past couple of years, sites like Twitter, Facebook, and others have drastically hurt you when you post a link to their platform. And traffic from these sites, especially Facebook and Twitter, has cratered to businesses that are trying to post links. Traffic from search engines like Google has also fallen a ton because of AI summaries and people using AI tools like ChatGPT or Perplexity to search instead of using Google. And some platforms like TikTok are at risk of being banned. Companies that have relied on these platforms to grow, like BuzzFeed and Vice, for example, have gone bankrupt or near bankrupt. And that is why you need to build an owned audience. An owned audience, you either build that through email, SMS, a podcast, or a private community. And we want to convert that owned audience into a monetized audience, which could be through a membership, a course, an event, coaching. There's many, many more options out there. The most important part of this audience funnel is the middle. Because if you have a growing and engaged owned audience, you are never going to run out of customers. That is not true if you have a growing and engaged rented audience, because that may change, but you control your owned audience. Email newsletters are by far the best place to build that owned audience out of the options that we have. They're the easiest to grow. It's much easier to get an email address than a podcast download or a phone number. You have subscriber and customer attribution, so you see where your subscribers are coming from and when they converted into a customer. It's the best channel to convert people into a customer. It's much more effective than podcasts or private communities and way more effective than social media. And you can use your newsletter to grow other owned audience channels like your podcast community or SMS list. For example, when I worked at The Hustle, they started a podcast called My First Million. We promoted that to our newsletter of 1.5 million subscribers. And the first episodes were getting 50 and 80,000 downloads because we had this massive newsletter audience. Here is the step-by-step roadmap to actually build that owned audience in the 7-figure newsletter. We're going to cover a lot of stuff, but it all starts with 2 things. The first thing is your niche, and the second thing is your offer. Picking the right niche and offer is going to make growing and monetizing your newsletter 10 times easier, if not more. It's really important that you get this right. And the way you pick a lucrative niche is either by going hyper niche or hyper scale. You do not want to be in between. Here's what I mean by that. Advertisers want hyper scale, the ability to reach millions or tens of millions of people through your newsletter, or hyper niche, the ability to reach a targeted high value audience through your newsletter. A couple examples of hyperscale newsletters are 1440. They cover news in an unbiased way, or Morning Brew, which covers business news professionals, or Word Daily, which sends you a new word every day and the definition of it to help expand your vocabulary. They get over 58 million email opens per month. Hyperscale can be great, but for 99% of new founders, I recommend going hyper niche, because by narrowing down who your content is for, you stand out more. Most newsletters fail because they try and be everything to everyone, and they end up being nothing to no one. If you go hyper niche, you are able to get sponsors with just 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers. It is much easier to sell products to your audience, and there are endless untapped niches out there with way less competition. Here's how to pick a lucrative niche. There's 4 things you need to consider. The first is, what skills, experience, or interests do you have? If you don't care about the topic, you shouldn't start a newsletter about that topic. Number 2 is this a high need audience? Is it a growing audience? Is the audience trending? If it's growing, that's awesome. If it's not, it needs to be growing at some pace. Number 3, is the audience valuable to advertisers? How many advertisers are there, and what are the CPMs or ad rates that those advertisers are paying to get into other newsletters? The higher, the better, of course. Number 4, does the audience buy information, community, or some type of product that you can sell them? If they're buying information products, that's a good sign. If the audience that you're focused on in this niche doesn't buy anything, that's not good. What we want to do is put all of these things into a Venn diagram, and the intersection of those things is what your niche should be. The biggest mistake most people make when they do this, they think way too broad. You need to pick a niche and then go 2 levels deeper. Here's an example of that. At the top, we have business, then below that, marketing, and below that, social media marketing. As we descend in that niche, the audience becomes smaller potentially, but our subscriber lifetime value becomes higher. If we go up, our audience potential becomes bigger, but we have a lower subscriber lifetime value. It is much better to start niche and then expand as you grow. It's very hard to do it the opposite way, but you can expand later on. So a couple examples of this. Let's say we care about fitness. Below fitness is bodybuilding, and then how to bodybuild on a keto diet. Let's say we care about tech. Below that is AI for marketing, and then how to use generative AI to make ad creative. Local news, then things to do in your city, restaurants and food in your city. Most hyper niches are actually a lot bigger than you think, because even if you appeal to just 0.1% of the people globally, that's still 8 million people. That's a lot of people. So it's okay to start hyper niche. It's okay to niche down 2 to 4 levels, because when you do that, you can find a topic that you're actually the best in the world at, or you can stand out way more. And if you're not the best in the world yet, that's totally okay, because over time, as you publish this newsletter, you will become an expert and your content will improve. This is a quote from Naval Ravikant: become the best in the world at what you do. Keep refining that until this is true. If you do that, you will find a great newsletter niche. After we have our niche, we need an offer that would be so good, it would be stupid not to sign up for your newsletter. An offer simply means your value proposition. This is the reason why people should subscribe. A great newsletter at its core helps the reader solve a problem. It's that simple. And the more painful the problem, the better. For example, losing your job, failing in your business, losing money in the stock market, losing sleep after having a baby. There's many, many more painful problems out there. And to show how we solve that problem to our readers, I want you to use the jobs to be done framework. You can basically bucket every great newsletter into the job that it's doing for readers. So for example, help me save money on flights. There is an amazing newsletter with millions of subscribers and revenue called Going that does that. Help me become a better dad, The Daily Dad. Help me build better habits, James Clear. Help me be informed of just the facts, 1440. Help me get a job on Wall Street, Wall Street Oasis. Help me win more at fantasy football, Football Guys. Help me use AI to become more productive, The Rundown. To find your job to be done, you need to answer these 2 questions in detail. And so if you're serious about this, you should pause here or take a screenshot so you can write these down and answer them. The first is, who is your market of one? I want you to think of one person. What would they find extremely useful or interesting? Then, What is the concrete job that you're doing for them? Be exact. How exactly will you help them fulfill their desires, reach their goals, and solve their problems? If you can answer those two questions in depth, you have a good job to be done, and you probably have a good idea of what your niche is. A couple examples of this. This is the Milk Road newsletter, as we talked about before. It's a newsletter about crypto and about Web3. Sean Purry is the founder of the Milk Road, and what he found at the time was all the news and information about crypto was extremely boring and complicated. It felt like you needed to have a PhD in computer science and encryption to understand any of this stuff. So Sean had the idea to explain what's happening in crypto like your smart, funny friend. This is the very first welcome email that he sent for the Milk Road, and it says this: I'm here to do two things: explain what's going on in crypto in plain Jane English. Number two, make you laugh. We all know crypto is super interesting, but most people don't have time to keep up with everything. That's what this email is for. Think of it like your smart, no bullshit friend whispering sweet Web3 nothings into your ear every morning. No one else was doing this in crypto, and what Sean did is he created a category that did not exist: funny crypto news, and this made him stand out. It was key to growing to over 250,000 readers and selling for 7 figures in 10 months. The next example is The Assist. This is a newsletter that helps women become better professionals and get raises and promotions at work. Joanna, the founder of The Assist, felt like all the content and advice about leadership and career growth was tailored to men, and there wasn't a lot written for women. She wanted to create content for female professionals that was tailored to their needs and experiences. What she says in her welcome email is that she had a lot of bad experiences at the company she worked at and in her career. But the silver lining of all this is that she learned how to negotiate and get promotions, how to find purpose in work, how to be a better leader, and how to say no and quit people-pleasing. So she started sharing this with her friends. They liked it, so she started publishing a newsletter so everyone could get access to this stuff. And now The Assist has over 100,000 subscribers, 7 figures in revenue, and it's one of the fastest growing B2B media companies. The final example is Naptown Scoop. This is a local newsletter in Annapolis, Maryland. Ryan said the founder was fed up with local news in his town because it was almost exclusively covering crime and politics and stuff he just didn't care about. There was no positive news. The only way to get local news was also only from TV, newspapers, and websites that were packed with ads and paywalls. So Ryan created the local newsletter that tells you the news like a friend. It focuses on fun events, live music, food, and fun things to do in Annapolis. He was able to grow this newsletter to over $400,000 per year in sponsorship revenue in a town of just 100,000 people, which is very impressive for that size. He's also used his newsletter to start and grow other local businesses. So he has this really cool toilet rental business that he promotes in his newsletter, and he gets customers for that from his newsletter audience. After you pick your niche and your job to be done, you need content. This is how to create a newsletter template and write high-quality content with AI. To build your newsletter, you need to think about the sections that you're going to have in. You don't want to open up a blank page and just start writing. That's a very bad idea. You want to think about what sections in your newsletter are going to keep your audience engaged and solve a problem. And all this should be informed by your niche and your job to be done. There's lots of different sections that other newsletters use that you could use. And the best thing you should do is steal from the best ones out there. Go and swipe templates and sections from the best newsletters. Look at 10 or 20 great newsletters that you like, and look at top newsletters like Morning Brew, 1440, The Hustle, and Axios. Pick the sections you love, put them together like a building block, and remove the sections that you don't love. To make this easy for you, I think most newsletters should have 6 sections. Now, you could have more, you could have less, but this is what I do, and it's worked for me. The first section is the introduction section. This is where you grab attention and tease the content in the newsletter with a table of contents. Then you have a curated section where you share the best content, news, or resources you found that week. You could add commentaries, summaries, or takeaways. If you have links here, this is going to drastically increase the click-through rate of your newsletter. Then you have an ad or promotional section where you promote your sponsor, your own product, or an affiliate product. Then the main content section where you have content that's between 500 to 1,000 words that educates, informs, entertains, or tells a story. Then we have our outro section where we sign off from the newsletter and share how we can help more resources or products or services that we have. And then finally, we have a poll section where we ask for feedback. I like to say, how'd you like today's newsletter? And I give 3 options: love it, it's okay, not great. I aim for a 75% or higher love it rating If you don't like this format, you could do 5 stars, 3 stars, or 1 star, or you could just write your own. This allows me to get feedback on my newsletter that's outside of just the open rate and the click-through rate that I receive. It also helps me get testimonials for my newsletter. After you have 5 to 10 newsletters done using this template, writing becomes a lot easier with help from AI. And if you're just using tools like ChatGPT, like most people are, you're missing out on a lot of the power. Gemini Pro is by far the best for research. So if you want more data and insights behind your newsletter, use that. Claude is the best for writing original content. It sounds way less robotic than ChatGPT. So if you want to create content, repurpose content, Claude is the best tool for that. Perplexity is best for curating news and current events. And ChatGPT is best for refining, proofreading, and editing your newsletter content. After you have a newsletter, we're going to talk about how to turn a weekly newsletter into over 500 posts per year that bring in tens of thousands of new subscribers for free. Newsletters are a content business. You have to understand that. You need to know that you have to publish content outside of just your newsletter to grow it. This creates a growth flywheel. People see content that they like on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google search, etc. And then they subscribe to your newsletter because they want more of that content. Now, you don't need to publish everywhere. Just starting with 1 or 2 social platforms is totally fine. Publishing an email newsletter alone is not going to grow your audience because newsletters are not discoverable. You must utilize discovery platforms like Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, search, etc. to grow. And it's really simple. Every newsletter you write should be repurposed into 5 or more social posts on 1 to 2 platforms. And your newsletter should also be published as a blog post and optimized for SEO. That is how you get discovered and grow. You create one newsletter and then you distribute that forever. If your weekly newsletter is repurposed into 5 social posts on 2 platforms and into 1 blog post, that means you'll publish 520 social posts per year and 52 blog posts per year. That's how you grow. We create this flywheel. We make original newsletter content, we repurpose that to social and blog, and then we get new subscribers through that content. Here's a really cool example of this from one of my clients, Rowan, who's the founder of The Rundown. Rowan's account on Instagram has grown to over 90,000 followers and racked up over 8 million views. And all of his videos are AI generated using HeyGen for video and 11 Labs for voice. He's gotten near a 0 backlash from this, and it's generated him tens of thousands of newsletter subscribers for free. The way it works is just like I described. So he takes the newsletter that he writes every day, he tweaks that into a script, and then he uses AI to generate that into a video. He edits that video, and he publishes it to Instagram, TikTok, etc. What he says is, best of all, it somewhat automates video using our newsletters as the script. This opened up a new untapped audience of content we were already writing. So Rowan does the same thing. He creates original newsletter content, repurposes that in the AI videos, and that gets him new subscribers. There are also many more ways you can grow your list that require 0 posting on social media. So you should do what I just talked about, but there's more things you can do as well. You should have at least 1 to 3 acquisition sources for your newsletter. This is how to get high quality subscribers on autopilot with a set and forget growth method. You might have seen referral programs like this from newsletters like Morning Brew or The Hustle. This is called a milestone-based referral program. So after 3 referrals, so if I share Morning Brew with 3 friends successfully using my referral link, I will get their premium Sunday newsletter. After 5, I get stickers, etc., etc. I manage the referral program at The Hustle. And what we found at The Hustle and what I found talking to dozens of other newsletters is that milestone referral programs just don't work anymore. They're very saturated, and most people are not going to get above 1 to 5 referrals. Here's what you should do instead. Create a 1 reward referral program. Give away a digital product in exchange for 1 referral. In this referral program for the Milk Road that we created drove over 26,000 subscribers in 6 months. 1 reward referral programs are 100% automated, and they drive high-quality subscribers because the subscribers you are getting are from your readers recommending your newsletter to their friends and their followers on social media. Okay, what type of product should you give away in exchange for 1 referral? You should use a lead magnet style product. And if you already have a lead magnet in your business, that's awesome. You can use that. If you don't, here's how you can create one. It should be short and easy to consume, less than 10 minutes reader watch time. It should give immediate value and concrete benefits. So it could be a cheat sheet, a checklist, a database, a report, a swipe file, a resource list, or a template, or something like that. Here's a couple examples to give you some ideas. At the Milk Road, we created the report on what crypto whales are buying and selling. And so the team at the Milk Road, they asked their friends in the crypto industry who had a high net worth and a lot invested into crypto, what are you buying right now? What are you selling right now? And what is your opinion about the current state of the market? They put that into a 3-page report and they gave that away for one referral. Ben Spites is a newsletter about AI news and tools. Ben links to a ton of different news, research reports, and tools in his newsletter. It feels a little bit overwhelming, so he put all the links in his newsletter into an Airtable database that can be filtered. And if you refer one friend to his newsletter, you get access to that database. This drove over 30,000 subscribers for him. Failery is a newsletter for startup founders. And what the founder, Nico, did is he put together an Airtable database of the top 10 to 20 pitch decks from successful startups like Airbnb, Uber, etc. That probably took him about 10 or 15 minutes to create, and he gave that away in exchange for one referral. A couple pro tips on how to do this. To set this up, you should use the Beehive or SparkLoop referral program. It takes about 10 minutes or less on Beehive. Change the copy and image you use to promote this every 1 to 2 months to prevent banner blindness. And then change the reward up every 3 to 4 months. You'll see a lot more referrals that way. You can also use shoutouts as referrals. These work really well too. So this is Naptown Scoop again. What Ryan does is he gives away a birthday shout out in exchange for 3 referrals. And this works great because he's in a small town where a lot of people know each other. The final pro tip I have for you is really cool. You can set up a trigger email. So when someone clicks the poll in your newsletter and gives you a positive response, you can send them an email that asks them to refer your newsletter. And this works well because they just said they love your newsletter, so they're way more likely to refer it right then. Now, with social post, blog post, and a referral program like this, you can grow to over 10,000 or even over 100,000 subscribers quickly. But how do you scale to over 1 million subscribers or more? How do newsletters do that? And the answer is doing paid acquisition the right way. Meta ads, aka Facebook and Instagram ads, are by far the number one best way to scale your email list to over 100,000 or over 1 million subscribers. And if done right, you can do this profitably. Let me explain. When I started working at The Hustle, I wanted to see how the newsletter historically grew to over 1 million subscribers. When I joined, they had about 1.3 million, so I went and looked back at the past data. Was it a referral program, social media? Was it Google search? What was it? I was so curious to find out. And what I found out was that over 1 million of their subscribers actually came from Facebook ads. And even more surprisingly, over 90% of those subscribers just came from this one Facebook ad created. Facebook and Instagram ads are by far the best paid growth channel. We've used it to drive over 10 million subscribers at between a 50 cent to $2 cost per subscriber. And we're able to break even on ad spend on day one to acquire subscribers for free. I'm going to show you how we break even on ad spend, but first I want to talk about how to set up Facebook ads at a high level. We always use the lead objective, website conversions, and broad targeting. That's the best practice. And the 3 types of Facebook ad creatives that work best for us are iPhone notes, motion graphics, and UGC videos. All the ads I'm about to show you have driven over 10,000 subscribers at less than $1 each. This is an iPhone note creative ad. It's extremely simple. You type out copy in your iPhone notes app, you take a screenshot, you use that as an ad. If you don't have an iPhone, you can just make this in Canva. This is a motion graphic. It's text on screen and a video in the background. It's also simple. The video literally doesn't matter. It could be a beach. It could be a guy walking across the street. What's important is the copy shows people why they should sign up for your newsletter. Here's a few more examples of motion graphics. You can also combine an iPhone note screenshot and a motion graphic like you see here. And the final type of creative that crushes it for us is UGC videos. And this is just a person talking about why the newsletter is awesome. Pro tips. Make motion graphics with CapCut or Capwing. These are my favorite video editing tools that are very easy to use and they have great free plans. Use arcads.ai for AI-generated actors. These cost about $50 per video and they look like a real person. Or if you don't want to work with a real actor, you can use Fiverr to find people. It's the best source I found and it costs about $100 to $150 per video. You need to test tons of ads on Facebook. Start by testing 4 to 6 ads and then test 2 to 3 new ads every single week. This is how you get extremely low CPAs, is by testing and feeding the machine. Here's how to grow with ads profitably. You can make $1 to $3 every single time someone signs up for your newsletter instantly if you do this. To illustrate this, I'm going to show you an example from the Assist. This is one of the clients we've been working with for a long time. After people sign up for the Assist newsletter, they do something really cool. And because they do this, in 1 year, we've been able to help the assist generate over 120,000 subscribers and recoup over 100% of their ad spend to acquire subscribers for free. And the way we do that is through affiliate offers on their thank you page. So we promote affiliate offers on their thank you page. We use cost per lead or cost per click based offers. So we don't get a commission on the sale. Instead, we get paid per lead that we drive. It looks like this. So after someone subscribes, we say, wait, your subscription is not yet complete. And we recommend 5 different tools that we all have affiliate offers for. And when someone signs up for one of those tools, we make between $5 to $25 from that lead. So we get subscribers for $1 to $3 from Facebook ads. Then we're able to earn $1 to $3 per subscriber immediately from affiliate offers. And that's because between 10 to 20% of those subscribers sign up for one of those offers on the thank you page. So we break even on ad spend, and the revenue from newsletter sponsorships afterwards and the revenue from product sales afterwards is 100% profit. This is called negative customer acquisition cost. It's how companies like Bankless, MarketBeat, Industry Dive, FreightWaves, and many, many more top media companies and creators have been able to scale to millions of subscribers and tens of millions of revenue. Here are the 4 ways to make money immediately from subscribers. The first one that we talked about, which is number 4 here, is affiliate offers. So I just covered that. The next is paid recommendations, where you recommend other newsletters and get paid for that. Number 2 is tripwire offers, where you sell a low ticket product after someone signs up. And number 3 is lead generation, where you sell the data of your subscribers to a sponsor. Let me walk you through these. The most common paid recommendation tool is Sparkloop Upscribe. It allows you to earn between 50 cents to $1 per subscriber. It's very easy to set up. It takes about 30 minutes or less. And once you set up, it's automated, and there's a network of over 300 newsletters that you can recommend. It looks like this. So after you sign up for a newsletter, you see this page. You can sign up for these newsletters, and if you do, the person using this will get paid for those signups. The next is a tripwire offer. This is where you sell a low ticket product on your thank you page at a price point of $7 to $79. We want to target a conversion rate of 1 to 3% on that page, and it needs to be priced low enough so it's an impulse buy. Some of the world's largest creators do this to grow their email list for free, like Jay Shetty, who sells a $99 product marked down to $30 on his thank you page, or Matt Gray, who sells a bundle of courses that are normally worth $1,000 for $29 on his thank you page. These work well because if you sell a $49 product on your thank you page and just 2% of subscribers buy on that page, you're going to make 98 cents per subscriber, and you'll make much more if you have upsells after that first purchase. The third is lead generation. You collect data on your subscribers and sell the email addresses and that data of those subscribers to sponsors who want them. For B2B newsletters that do this, they're able to make between $50 to $250 lead. Here's an example from Industry Dive. This is their multifamily housing newsletter. I sign up, I complete my profile, enter in my data. I have the option to check one of these boxes to get a lead magnet. Both of these lead magnets are sponsored. So if I sign up for one of them or both of them, they will share my information with that sponsor, and I can access that lead magnet on the next page. They'll sell that data for between $50 to $250 if I am a qualified lead for that advertiser. This is how Industry Dive has grown to over 16 million subscribers, leading to a $525 million acquisition. And it's also how one of our clients, Workweek, has scaled to over $10 million in revenue in 3 years. 30% of the revenue comes from lead generation, and this makes growing their audience profitable. The final one is the one we showed before, affiliate offers. Have affiliate offers that are cost per lead base or cost per click base on your thank you page to recoup that ad spend. You can also do more than one of these 4 tactics at the same time. This is MarketBeat. They have paid recommendations after you sign up. Then they have affiliate offers after that. And then after the affiliate offers, they show you a page with a tripwire offer. This has enabled them to scale to over $40 million per year in revenue and over 4.3 million newsletter subscribers, one of the largest newsletter-focused businesses in the entire world. Now, that's how you make money instantly after you get a sign up. Let's talk about how to make money from each subscriber for years to come. And you do this through selling sponsorships to your subscribers. Here's how to do that even if you have a small email list. If you have a high-value niche audience, you can sell sponsorships with as little as 5,000 subscribers or less. And as you grow your newsletter, sponsorships become more lucrative and selling sponsorships become easier. I talked to Tim Heelskamp, the CEO of 1440, a while back, and he said now that they have 4 million subscribers, it's easier for them to sell sponsorships versus when they had 10,000 subscribers because the bigger advertisers want to work with them because they have a bigger audience. So it gets easier and easier as you grow, just how you want your business to work. 1440, for example, is able to make $76,000 every time they send an email because of this. Pro tips. The best way to find sponsors for your newsletters is to see who's sponsoring similar newsletters. Subscribe to every newsletter that is similar to you, similar audience, niche, or content. This should be 10 to 25 newsletters. See who's sponsoring those newsletters. Find the contact information of the person who manages those ads buys. You can use hunter.io and reach out to them via email and LinkedIn. Later on, you can automate this entire process with software and a $5 to $7 per hour virtual assistant. You can also get sponsors from your audience. You should be promoting your sponsorship offerings and your newsletter on your website and on social media. Many of your best sponsors are going to come from your audience. Another cool thing you can do is enrich your email data with LinkedIn data using megahit.app. You can identify prospects this way and reach out to them with a personalized message. You can do this for selling sponsorships or really anything you have to sell. When I upload my email data to Megahit, I can see their name, their title, what company they work at, how many employees that company has, and how many opens and clicks they have in my newsletter. Now, something really cool is happening right now. With Beehive and the ad network that they have, you can get premium sponsors on autopilot. So right now in Beehive, I have 13 different ad opportunities where I can earn anywhere from $2 per click to $4 per click. Ad opportunities from people like Nike and Masterworks. I didn't need to talk to any brands, negotiate, or get on sales calls. I got sponsors automatically with Beehive. Now, there's more ways you can monetize your newsletter, and the next one is as close to passive income that you can get. This is how to make money in your sleep with email automation. Email automations work for you 24/7. So while you are sleeping, email automations are working to engage your readers, sell your products, drive referrals, and build trust with your audience. Email automations give you leverage. They enable you to get value from your email list without writing and sending a newsletter every single day or every single week. And once you set them up, you can make money with them for months and years to come. There are 4 types of email automated sequences you should be using. The first is a welcome sequence, then win-back sequence, trigger sequence, and sales sequence. A welcome sequence is simply 5 to 10 emails that are sent over a 0 to 30-day period after a new subscriber joins your email list. This is the number one way to build trust and to sell your product to new subscribers. So on day 0, they get the welcome email. Usually 24 hours later, they get email number 2. 1 or 2 days later, they get email number 3, etc., etc. A win-back sequence is 1 to 2 emails sent after a subscriber is disengaged, so they have 0 opens or clicks for between 14 to 21 days. You send this because it's far easier to keep an existing subscriber than it is trying to get someone new to sign up for your list. We want to retain our subscribers as long as possible. A trigger sequence is sent after subscribers take a key action. These are emails designed to prompt subscribers to take an action at the right time. So earlier, we talked about having a trigger in response to a poll. You could have a trigger email as response to a referral, a survey completed, a certain number of emails open, a certain amount of time on your email list, or even a link click. So if someone clicks a link to your sales page, you can send them a follow-up email of testimonials or a discount. And then finally, a sales sequence. It's a series of emails sent after subscribers are engaged and complete your welcome sequence. Usually 4 to 6 emails long, and it's designed to drive sales. After someone opens, let's say between 5 and 6 emails, and they click 1 to 2 links, they're showing that they like your newsletter. And so you have an opportunity to sell them because they are now engaged. That's what a sales sequence does. After you set up these 4 sequences, if you don't have any of them now, you'll double your sales. And once you set them up, they're completely automated. One of our clients, Douglas Cole and Dickie Bush, did over $6 million in revenue last year, and almost all their selling is done with email automations. They almost never send a broadcast newsletter or email. Okay, we've been covering a lot of stuff here, and a lot of you might be thinking, but Matt, doesn't it take a lot of time to grow my newsletter? Isn't it hard? Well, nothing is easy, but if you add 28 subscribers per day, that's over 10,000 subscribers in 1 year. And if you add 83 subscribers a day, that's over 10,000 subscribers in 4 months. A hyper niche newsletter with 10,000 engaged subscribers will change your life. You do not need a massive audience if you have the right niche and the right monetization strategies. In fact, many people I've coached have made over $10,000 per month with just 1,000 to 5,000 subscribers. For example, my business hit 7 figures in annual recurring revenue when I had just 10,000 subscribers because I sold a $4,000 per month service to just 21 of those people. That's a very low conversion rate, But even with that, I was able to make a great living. Plus, there are many, many more paths to much more than $10,000 per month from your newsletter. As we discussed before, the Milk Road was acquired for 7 figures in 10 months. Industry Dive was acquired for $525 million in 10 years. Morning Brew was acquired for $75 million in 5 years. The Hustle was acquired for $27 million. The Peak was acquired for $3.75 million. Finimize was acquired for $111 million. Axios was acquired for $525 million. And thousands of people have built their newsletters to $10,000 or $100,000 per month with no funding or no past experience. Newsletters give you an unfair advantage in business that enables you to work from anywhere on your schedule without employees, a boss, or clients. Almost everything else in the business world does not offer the type of freedom that a newsletter can give you. You can start and grow your newsletter with low cost. It allows you to create an online income, even with a small audience. You don't need hundreds of thousands of subscribers to make money. Newsletters with 5 to 10,000 or 15,000 engaged subscribers can become 6 and 7 figure businesses with the right monetization strategies. You can stop renting your audience and become a list lord where you own and control your audience. There's no algorithm or gatekeeper. With a newsletter, you can scale to 7 and 8 figures and beyond because newsletters are a scalable business model. Delivering a newsletter, a sponsorship, or a digital product to 100 people or 1 million people takes the same amount of time and the same amount of effort. A newsletter enables you to scale with media so you don't need to work more or hire more people to earn more money. Newsletters can help you build a business that you can sell. Dozens of newsletters have sold for 7, 8, and 9 figures like I just showed you, and newsletters can sell for millions to savvy investors who want an audience that they can sell their products and services to. Finally, AI and automations can help do the work for you. Now is the most important time to build an owned audience because AI is making it easier to write content, create products, and earn more online. But the thing is, you have to have an audience that knows, likes, and trusts you so you can take advantage of this. And a newsletter can help you do that. Using the system I just walked you through, I've helped top newsletters and creators add over 10 million subscribers and over $100 million in sales. It's the system that I've used to start from scratch and build a multi-million-dollar newsletter in less than 2 years, as you can see here.